And welcome back.
Welcome back
to Nameless Show.
I have slouched slightly further. We're approaching that time of the evening. So let's talk about this. So this is their sort of opt-in difficulty, and I kind of like it because what it essentially does is adjusts all of the different, like all of the combat encounters, either like your health or the enemy's strength or enemy health or whatever, and then gives you a reward based on which ones you choose. So this one, if you see in the bottom right corner, gives me 10% extra money and 10% extra XP. In exchange, the foes will, you can see in the thing, foes shall go quicker to move and strike, so they'll be faster and have higher attack speed. We're not going to do any of that.
I do love it as a way of handling difficulty, though.
Yeah, it's really cool because it's essentially build your own difficulty, which means that I like... Okay,
with incentive to do so as well, not just the, like, satisfaction of I played it on hard, but, like...
Right, it's like, hey, like, it's another puzzle that the players can do. Like, figure out the optimal difficulty. Is there anything the developers screwed up in? Like, is there anything that's like, oh, this isn't that bad, but it gives me, 15% bonus? Like, that's pretty big.
Yeah, I wish more games would steal this, actually.
Yeah. What are we being pointed about?
I don't know. Carrie just pointed at a thing.
Okay.
Oh, she saw a cat.
Oh, okay. That's literally all it takes.
Sorry.
Okay. Cat dead.
Oh, cat dead.
Oh no. All right.
She just wrote on a big piece of paper, cat, and then I was like, oh, you saw a cat, and then underneath it she wrote dead.
All capitals, double underlined. Like, this cat must have been super dead. But yeah, I think, oh god, why did I do that?
You're doing great.
Am I? I'm probably the most on fire I've ever been in my life. Okay.
Okay. Heal. Counter.
Counter, heal.
Heal! Heal again!
Okay. Okay, there we go. Got him.
I looked up.
Got him.
Nice.
I do like this level setup of like the whole like walk through when it's super peaceful and then disturb the gods and then walk back through a hellish landscape.
Oh yeah, that is a cool idea.
Kid ain't found the core, but at least he found Zolf's precious shrine.
Alright.
You're awful gutsy with those rolls.
Yeah. I got the mad skills. I don't know, how do you feel about movement mechanics in games? Because a lot of times, if you think about like games as when you have to move around, like there's the walk option and the run option.
Right.
And usually you only ever use the run option because it's just faster and moving between places tends to be the least exciting thing.
Sure.
So...
it very much depends on the game. Like in some cases, like you will have stamina to where being able to run at speed is a resource you have to spend, right? Right,
but then you have to figure out, is that interesting? Is that a
in a lot of games
puzzle?
it's not, or it wouldn't be, so they don't add it, or they add it and it's just not interesting.
Right, like Skyward Sword had their stamina meter and they use it for puzzles, but then your like general navigation across the entire game is like, why can't I be going as fast as my sprinting all the time? Whereas I think if they had just taken out that mechanic, nobody would be complaining about the speed of how Link moves.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, all right, like, so they also have stamina type stuff in, or do they? Like in GTA, you get really tired. You start breathing heavily when you're done, but does it actually stop you? I'm not sure it does. I can't remember.
Well,
yeah,
best belly flop of all time.
It just.
I think I want to see this like heighten over the course of the game, where I'm just landing on more and more dangerous and ridiculous things until I'm like landing on like a gigantic, I don't even know, just a gigantic spear.
I would like to see them load up a level. So you come down, but you come down with such force you punch through the level, land on an entirely different level, which is the actual one you're going to play.
I like to think just like you land and then just like I'm gone, and then like you just land on a different level and just like let me just go back to the Bastion. Just like nothing to see there, I guess.
Bullet bags ain't so lucky.
But yeah, maybe that's why you will often, like that movement speed thing and feeling restrained by the movement speed is often why you will find people also in Zelda, if they find that the forward roll is just a slight bit faster.
Even if it's not faster.
Even if it's not, sometimes even if it just feels faster, that's true. They will forward roll all over the place. And even if it looks or feels ridiculous to do, if it at least gives you the slight impression, even if it's a false impression that it's helping you go faster and giving you a little bit of power to affect your speed,
yeah, people will
do it.
I forgot you could have 2 ranged weapons in this one, because I think in the iPad version they make you pick a melee and a range.
That's probably smart. I imagine range is pretty difficult to do on iPad.
Yeah, it's not the easiest. I was surprised that their controls handled as well as they did. Like, they're obviously not as good as a controller, but they're not terrible.
That definitely takes a lot of work.
Yeah. Mobile controls are no jokes.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of... It's because they're trying to marry what we already think of as games, and... it was like the best mobile games, or the games at the very least that have the best control schemes, have been completely reimagined for mobile. And they tend to be new experiences that we really never had before.
Right.
In games, like even board games, right? Like, there's a ton of really good board games on the iPad that we didn't get before just because,
Smart of him to put an arsenal here on this level where you might have replaced your only melee weapon with another ranged one.
Yeah, that was 100% intentional. I kind of pretty sweet. Ah! What am I? Just waiting for me? Oh!
Back to the shop.
Yeah. Oh, okay, there's a hole there.
You found the hole.
I did it. I'm the best. Oh, God.
As for the windbags, Cinderbrick gave him enough heat and metal to munch on for a while. Well, the
Man, I
fort
think
ain't
that...
theirs by right.
Oh, God. Why? Stop spinning. What the hell is this?
I get so much character even to the weapons, just
Yeah.
with his little quick description. They all feel like friends.
Yeah. I feel like players tend to...
So many of those
Got him,
souls
damn it.
folded up inside that old fort.
Oh, well. The, yeah. I find the idea of, like, movement speeds being relative to what the players, like, think is possible is kind of interesting, because a lot of design is just about managing expectations. It's not even about, like... Sometimes it's about delivering on what the player expects. A lot of times it is, but what the player expects is oftentimes just what you've asked them to expect the entire time.
Yeah, and I think, like, especially like with navigating a 3D space, like, getting a right feeling movement speed really is just finding the speed that feels like what the player expects, not one that is realistic in any way. Like, usually in a 3D game, you are, like... If you have the character navigate the space as fast as they normally would be able to, even at a run, it's going to feel slow in most cases.
Yeah. I mean, like, and that's definitely a thing that video games struggle with, is, like, accurately modeling real-world physics tends to be less fun than, like, the rest of us just, like, playing pseudo-god with our physics. And even from, like, a perspective of, like, figuring out... Well, I mean, like, for this game especially, one of the things that I find interesting is that how the game has to sort of make a decision with its trigger points. Because you, like, I'm pretty sure most of the triggers for narrative events that just sort of are overarching stuff are positional based.
I think, yeah, generally, or just conditional occasionally on...
Yeah, occasionally there's like if you fell for the first time in this level, play this, you're a dumbass line. But they have lines where, like this one, right? Security playing on haywire. Yeah. That was probably positional, right? I walked over the trigger in the level that said play this line.
As soon as that enemy drops in.
Right.
Yeah.
So, a lot of times what that leads to is a pacing problem where players might get them at different rates. So one of the things that happened at the earlier in the game is I made Rux trip over his own lines because I rolled past one trigger and into the next one before he had finished. And if you ever watch a speedrun of this game, you'll see that all the time.
I imagine.
It's one of those things that it's kind of weird because they did it positionally based, which makes me think like these guys clearly know what they're doing, so I don't think that they made a mistake by doing it this way. My assumption just is that they couldn't actually... is that they needed to make sure that all the lines got said for it to make sense as a cohesive piece, so that they were okay with the player occasionally tripping over a line by a little bit, if it meant that they got to see everything, right? Because they could have just done it on a timer where everything was paced out exactly the way they wanted to.
Sure.
But then if the player goes super fast, they're going to just like build up a queue of things that Rux says, which one will feel weird, and then two, they might end the level before they finish the queue. Yeah. And then they either have to like cut the queue short and then trip over their own lines anyway, or they have to, or they just have to like sit there while Rux finishes his lines or cut them all out anyway.
It does absolutely feel better for him to trip over the line if it means that what he's saying is still in sync with what's happening, though. Yeah, for sure. So,
I mean, because
it's the right call.
Again, the game is predicated on the fact that the game is reacting to what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Rux always has to be able to do that.
The lines cease to be quite as interesting or fun or appealing if it's just him saying stuff.
Just like straight explaining things to you.
Which is another reason why they intentionally kept these lines so very, very short.
Yeah.
So that like they can play in rapid succession if they have to. And they've intentionally spaced out where like those positional lines are intentionally spaced out, hopefully for most players to be far enough apart that he won't trip over those lines.
Right. What the hell? Oh, well, you're dead.
Down he goes.
Got him.
Awesome.
I didn't kill him. I'm way cooler.
Finally get the message.
Give me that money. Wonder why they do it this way, where they sort of like
all over the place.
Shards, yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Is there another cat?
Because now you're just Pac-Manning around.
Yeah. And Carrie's pointing at another dead cat that I don't see.
How do you keep finding these dead cats?
She's not. Apparently, there's no dead cat, but I'm going to just assume that there is.
Dream of getting a marshal's badge, but not like this.
For those of you that don't know, Carrie is...
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have explained. Like, some people may not have been to like PAX or seen our credits. Carrie's my wife. She does the editing on all the stuff we do. Stuff that I used to have to do all of, and I can't keep up with anymore because we make too much stuff. So yeah, she is behind. It's like she works on pretty much everything we make. So
yep. If you see a video, chances are it's thanks to her.
Yep.
So thank you, Carrie.
Thank you, Carrie.
You're great. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you caught it. She doesn't want to show up on the audio, but she's really happy.
Because she has to edit it later.
Yeah. Just before we actually started when she was complaining about the fact that James had clapped in one of his videos and there was no visual indicator. She's still upset about it.
Yeah, every single recording error, video or audio, is usually something she has to go in and fix.
God knows there's a lot of them.
Boy, howdy, there are. I haven't said boy, howdy in a long time.
Well, how did it feel?
0 days since boy,
it
howdy was
It has been 0 days.
Didn't feel as good as I hoped.
I'm sorry.
I think we're getting tired.
Are we?
Respect to the whole world and burn it.
Wait, so what's this?
So this is the Vigil? No, these are Vigils, and they are in something. Essentially, they're just mini achievements.
Oh, but with
rewards. The required number of different species of beast, and then they give you rewards for extra money.
Cool, it's little mini quests.
Right.
For stuff you're already probably gonna do.
Right, and then like every time you do one of these,
valediction. Just another one of my sketches.
They're all giving you different pieces of narrative, right?
Nice.
So I think that
express what happened.
It's really cool the way that they do this.
Collapses after just one drag.
Yeah, now we get high. So this is kind of an interesting setup. Do you remember this?
I don't know.
Really? Okay.
No, it's been a while.
So this one is... So these are little sub-levels. Essentially, you unlock them.
Okay.
Do we want to do this next time?
Sure, let's do this. Yeah. Drug strip sub-level next time.
Okay.